All right, let's get into this. We're about to unpack a wild prediction from researchers at MIT and Harvard. Now, it sounds like pure science fiction, but you'll see it's actually built on some really old, really solid economic ideas.
And it all starts with this one giant question. Could AI actually make companies obsolete? I mean, could the whole idea of a company, as we know it, just go away? It's a huge thought, but there's a surprisingly straight line of logic to get there.
The researchers even have a name for it, the Coasean Singularity. It's this tipping point, this future where AI agents make the open market so ridiculously efficient, so frictionless, that the very reason we invented companies in the first place just starts to evaporate.
But to really wrap your head around this, we actually have to go back in time, way back. Long before anyone was even thinking about AI, a young economist was wrestling with a puzzle that, decades later, would win him a Nobel Prize.
This guy, Ronald Coase. So it's 1937, and he's looking at these huge companies, like Ford and General Motors, and he sees a paradox. All the economists were praising the free market, right? But these massive, successful companies, they were run like tiny little dictatorships, these centrally planned economies. It just didn't add up.
So he asked this question that was so simple it was kind of genius. Why do we even have firms? Seriously, if the open market is so great at coordinating everything, why isn't the whole world just a bunch of independent contractors, buying and selling their skills to each other for every single task? Why bother building a company at all?
And the answer he came up with, well, it completely changed economics. It all boils down to one simple concept: friction, economic friction. Coase gave it a name: transaction costs. And if you think about it, it makes total sense. Using the open market for everything is a huge pain. You've got to find the right person, you have to negotiate a price, you have to draw up a contract, and then you have to make sure they even do the job right. All of that takes time and energy and, yeah, money.
This chart just lays it out perfectly. Out on the open market, price is king, and you're juggling tons of individual contracts. But inside a firm, a manager just tells an employee what needs to get done. You replace all that hassle, all that friction, with one simple employment contract. So here's the key takeaway. Firms exist because it is often just plain cheaper and easier to get things done inside a company than it is to constantly go out to the market.
Coase had this amazing way of putting it. He called firms islands of conscious power, little pockets of central planning, in a vast ocean of unconscious cooperation, which is the free market. They're basically shelters from the chaotic, expensive storm of constant market transactions.
Okay, so firms exist to reduce market friction. Got it. Now let's fast forward from 1937 all the way to today, and let's introduce a piece of technology that is designed to do one thing: get rid of that friction completely. This is where the AI agent comes in.
And look, we are not talking about a simple chatbot here. An AI agent is this autonomous system that works for you and only you. Imagine having a personal economist on your side 24/7. It's totally rational, it can't be tricked by slick marketing, and its only mission is to get the absolute best deal for you.
So what does that actually look like? Well, say you want to buy a new barbecue grill. Your agent doesn't just go check Amazon. No. In the blink of an eye, it could go straight to the manufacturer, find 500 other agents whose owners also want that grill, team up with them to negotiate a massive bulk discount for everybody, and then arrange all the shipping. The whole idea of a retail store just becomes unnecessary.
And right here, this is the singularity moment. When everyone has an agent doing this for everything, those transaction costs that Ronald Coase talked about, the whole reason firms were created, they basically drop to zero. The friction is gone. And when the entire reason for something to exist just vanishes, well, so does the thing itself. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? This incredibly powerful future has a huge catch. It sets up this fundamental battle over who actually controls these agents. And it's a choice that is going to define the internet for the next decade.
And it really comes down to two different models. On one side, you've got what they call the bring your own agent. Think of it as your agent. You own it, you control it, and it works for you everywhere online. On the other side, you have the bowling shoe agent, the one you borrow at the alley. It's provided by the platform you're on, like Google or Amazon. Super convenient? Yeah, but its loyalty, well, might be a little divided.
So that's the big trade-off. Your own personal BYO agent is your perfect champion, but you can bet the big platforms might see it as a threat and try to block it. The bowling shoe agent, on the other hand, will be super easy to use, but is it really finding you the best deal on the entire internet? or just the best deal on, say, Amazon's products. This fight between true user freedom and platform convenience is the central battle for our digital lives going forward.
And that leaves us with this final massive question. If the firm itself starts to dissolve, if the market just becomes this humming network of individuals and AI agents making deals in an instant, what on earth happens to our jobs? What does the future of work even look like in a world without companies as we know them? That is the really big question we're all going to have to face.